Hello everybody, this is Des here, aka Desi, and High Rollers has been going on for over 3 years now. And yes, I am quite a few months late for the anniversary of High Rollers, but that doesn't mean I can't celebrate this wonderful show. And what better way to celebrate it than to look back at where it all started in the Lightfall campaign. So today I decided I'm going to list my top 10 favorite episodes of the High Rollers Lightfall campaign. Now, a few things before we get started. First off, there will be spoilers on this list. So if, you plan on watching the Lightfall campaign, and you don't want any spoilers, then I highly suggest you leave this video right now. And second off, yes, I have made a video like this in the past, but that was back before the series finished, and it was only episodes from season 1. Well, season 1. And finally, these are just my personal opinion. If you want, go right ahead and leave down your favorite episodes in the comments down below, because there are, 80 or 84 episodes of the Lightfall campaign, and I am guaranteed to miss one of your favorites. So, leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to know. And with that being said, let's get started. Oh my god, the episode title is a fucking pun. How the fuck did I just notice that? In this episode, we see more of Judo's Tiefling Sanctuary, and we get ready for the big battle in the next episode. And Reddit really wanted me to add an episode with Smith in it, so I chose this one. Mostly because of this line.
Oh, I burst in. That man's a war hero!
I don't know why, I just find him fucking hilarious. I also really like seeing more of the relationship of Yuan Yang and Judo. And I love how Judo is just a fucking badass this entire episode. You don't believe me, just go watch the episode. I can't, clips won't do it justice. The one downside to this episode is that it has a fight scene in the beginning, and I just couldn't really get into it. But that's just on me, because I can't really get into most fight scenes. But overall, this was a really solid episode, and a really good second and last episode before the final of the Lightfall campaign. After all these months, I finally get to sing the song again. We're going on a trip to our favorite elven ship, going through the trees to the leaf stream. Yeah, I may be a little biased on this one. Some cool stuff happens, yes, but the main reason why I fucking love this episode is because it made Nolora finally canon. A year after the Winterspire arc, we finally get the Nolora kiss I have been waiting for. Plus, it was a really cute moment leading up to it.
I promise I'll try and keep in contact better.
Please do.
And I'll come back when...
Otherwise, I will quite literally fly into Talis'Val to find you. I can do that now. I can fly. Again, sounded far more awkward.
If you listen really closely, you can hear me screaming all the way from Maine.
And he just kind of nods.
I'm just going to go up and give him a really quickly, give him a peck on the lips and then just walk out.
All I have to say is, it's about fucking time! These next few I've talked about before in my other High Rollers related list, so I'll keep it brief. I said in my last list that this is the funniest High Rollers episode I have ever seen. I changed my mind since then though, and I think this is the second funniest episode of the series. It's definitely not bad, it wouldn't be on this list if it was. But I realized, well, I did enjoy this episode. There was only really one big part that made me laugh my ass off, and we all know what that part is.
Da 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 da. Flash myself.
Oh my god.
Otherwise, this episode was very enjoyable, and all I gotta say is, Granny Trollman. So far, we talked about funny performances, ships becoming canon, and people losing limbs. All great stuff, but what happens this episode? The gang has fun at a fair. That's it. Well, besides in the end of the episode where the spirit of Dimitri comes back, tries to kill Cam, and tries to send Talis'Val, almost causing the death of many more people, but that's not really important. Most important, gang has fun at a fair. You know, a lot of other stuff happens, there's Ferris wheel at some point, wrestling match, all, you know, great episode, really entertaining, really funny. The return to Grinding Trail performance part 2, Electric Boogaloo. It is beautiful. On to the next one. What people call the final episode of Season 1, the best and the most memorable part of this episode is the fight scene. From the start of it with Nalistri's epic sacrifice of its arm, to the middle with the Black Crown getting destroyed and exploding, and the end where Allura gets her badass revenge against Salandras Frostwalker.
I just wanted to save our people. If we do your path, any elven deaths will be on you. I would have made them safe. You will condemn us to death.
I'm gonna take the bow, hold it up right at his face, and say, "This is for my father," and shoot him right in the face.
Okay.
This was also the last episode of the Winterspire arc, aka Allura's arc, which is my favorite arc in the Lightfall campaign, so of course it's going to be on this list. And this was also the very last episode we saw Crownrend in action with Judo. All in all, a very awesome episode, and a great season finale. You know how I said in number 6 that Werewolves was the last time we saw Crownrend in action with Judo? Yeah, that wasn't the last time we saw him in action, period. I've talked about this episode to death in my other videos, so I won't talk about it too much here, but I will give a brief summary. Two of the biggest and most fan-favorite bad guys, Crownrend and Talis'Val Frostwalker, team up to take down our main heroes. This episode's first half is emotional with Cam and Judo talking and being afraid about the battle ahead, and the second episode is downright terrifying with our heroes nearly dying almost every moment. Luckily, they do escape with their lives, but it was a close one. This episode also ends on a very emotional note with Talis'Val's final words.
She kind of clutches at this red liquid just oozing out, just like, Crownrend, you promised, Father.
And one of Evandra's Asimars taking Crownrend away, leaving Judo with one less thing to fear. If you want an episode with the perfect mix of action and emotion, you got it all in Crownrend's return. The last episode of Cam's arc, quite a bit happens this episode. We finally meet the Bucklands, we get foreshadowing that Reynard is going to become the new ruler of Greybell, and we get some pretty emotional scenes with Reynard and Judo. Well, some people say that what they sacrificed to save Testament what took away from their character development. I 100% disagree with them. If anything, it actually adds to their character development. Judo giving up her one happy childhood memory is a huge and emotional sacrifice that she does not want to give up, but she will for the greater good, especially because now she has a new family to make good memories with. And Reynard sacrificing the thought of wanting to be like his uncle means that he can finally become his own hero and not just be someone in his uncle's shadow. I don't really understand how people think that that's bad for the characters, because if anything, this episode not only made them grow in character, it also made them grow closer as a family. And that is the main reason why I put it on this list. Now, this may seem a little controversial, but I wasn't a huge fan at the beginning of Cam's arc. I loved the setup to it, with Adventure talking to Cam in his dream, and Cam's Laminate playing in the background because that is a good damn song. But the beginning of it just seemed kind of slow for me, and I didn't really know where it was going, and if Cam's arc was going to be good at all. And then this episode happened, and boy howdy, I'm so glad it did. Cam sacrifices himself to save his friends by promising Karen to bring Marilla, Cam's best friend, back to life. Karen agrees to this and takes Cam to the top of the tower where Marilla's body lays. And in order to bring her back, however, he must sacrifice something great. So, what does he give up?
There is one thing you can offer. it won't necessarily be taken from you, but I can transfer it to Morella instead.
Then I say yes, take my light.
Yeah. So,
That's right. Cam Buckland, to save his best friend, gives up his Lightborn ability, the special power he has had and has helped him numerous times since episode 1, and the thing that made him Camulus Arun Buckland. Besides his natural 20 deck, but it's gone. And of course it works. Morella comes back to life as a Lightborn, she sees Karen, and thus a fight ensues. And I gotta say, pretty damn badass fight, especially how it ends. But I will let you guys watch yourself because I'm bad at explaining fights, and it's just something you gotta see. But yeah, I fucking love this episode. It's goddamn badass. A lot of y'all might be upset that I didn't put this at number 1, but it was a tough pick. The main reason why I didn't put it at number 1 was because it'd be too predictable. But both of these episodes are great. I love them both equally. And with all that out of the way, let's talk about the episode. The final was emotional, heartbreaking yet beautiful. It had everything we wanted. The final battle between Judo, Adric, and Korak, and powerful speech, and a chant that a fandom still says to this day.
Tieflings! Metallics! Break the chains!
And after the battle, we skip 5 years into the future, and our heroes are doing well. Kim and Morella got together and adopted a kid. Reynard rules Greybell and proposes to Grunka. Judo and Yang Yang live a happy and quiet, peaceful life. Alora reunites all the Elven Spires with her parents and Elise by her side. And Adric and Lady Amy rule the Dragonborn together. Everyone, mostly everyone, gets their happy ending. And although it was sad to say goodbye to these characters that we've known for 2 years, and we've learned to grow in love with them, at least by the end of it, they broke the chains. This episode is perfect. Honestly, I can't think of anything wrong with it. And the number 1 reason I put this episode at number 1 is because this episode makes you feel like you are right there in the siege alongside these characters, battling with them. From the RP in the beginning, with the characters getting prepped for battle, to the actual siege, you just feel absolute dread. Watching it live for the first time, this felt different from every other episode of High Rollers, because this is the one episode where I feel like the characters can and maybe even would die. And the most beautiful part of this episode, Judo finally gets her noodles, oh my god. But for real though, this episode has an amazing battle. It's massive. It's exciting yet scary at the same time. And like I said, it feels like you're in the battle. This episode was the beginning of the end. And I gotta say, it did its job well. Because this is my number 1 favorite Lightfall episode of all time. And that was the video. Did I miss an episode you enjoyed? Please tell me down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And maybe at some point I'll make a favorite Aroas episodes video once we get enough episodes of those, because we're only like 20 or so episodes in. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.